everybody. Welcome to Bestie Book Reviews. I'm here with my bestie Mandy.
And I'm here with my bestie Jessica. See how easy that was to remember your name?
Haha. Okay, so it is that time again. It is time for our 1-minute book recs. This is where we go over all the books we read in the past week with 1-minute synopsises for each book. But before we get started with that, I'm sure Mandy has some stuff to tell you guys.
I do. We would love for you to subscribe to our channel, like our video, hype our video, and of course, comment. Let us know what you've been reading. How's your reading week going and all of that fun stuff. And then stick around for the end. We do have a winner for our latest 26 books of 2026 drawing, which is Shamrock Kisses. And we're going to tell you about our next giveaway.
Okay. So hi, how was your week?
My week was good. I read quite a bit.
Not surprised.
I fell down another rabbit hole and I didn't get all the books that I was wanting. I read different books than what I was wanting to read. And yeah.
Okay. So how many books did you read? Behind on what? Oh, your schedule you make for yourself?
Yes, my list of books to read. I'm very behind.
Cool. Don't know why you do that to yourself. I do not have a list. I fly by the seat of my pants. And we all know this.
It makes me twitchy. Don't like it. I read 11. How about you? Okay. 15?
So, I wish. It was a travel week and a packing. It was work is getting in the way of my reading.
Where did you travel to now?
I traveled home on Monday.
So I thought that was like over a week.
No, that was all day Monday. And instead of reading at the airport.
That's right. That was last time. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And normally I read when I'm flying I watch movies when I'm with you because I'm too tired typically. But I planned on reading this time, but our flight was delayed. We ended up working on the plane, so I didn't read like I wanted to, but it's okay.
I'm sorry, Pumpkin.
It's okay. So I did read 7 though, which is still good when you factor in that like 3 of the days I was traveling and doing events.
If you read a book, that would still be good. Like any reading you can get in is good.
But for us, we have things that we do and we
don't be hard on yourself.
But I do have some really good things to talk about.
Okay.
So
do you want to go first then?
Absolutely not then. That is all on you.
Okay.
Okay.
I think I'm ready. Okay. My first, I decided to work on my series that I want to finish during 2026. I decided to work on that a little bit. So I read On the Shore by Laura Pavlov, which is the 3rd book in the Cottonwood Cove series. I actually listened to this because I drove to a basketball game that was quite far away. So this is about Brinkley and Lincoln. Lincoln is a famous football player. Brinkley is a journalist. She tries to talk to him, follows him to the bathroom, and he is not happy about this. So he gets her in trouble with her boss, and her boss actually just ends up firing her. And so she goes home to Cottonwood Cove. He goes to Cottonwood Cove to just kind of relax, take a break, whatever. And they run into each other. And she kind of lets him have it. He lets into her a little bit. And he then finds out that he actually got her fired. And he did not mean for that to happen. And he actually feels really bad about it. So he tries to get her job back for her, but she doesn't want her job back. So they end up coming to this agreement that she can interview him about where he's going to go, because this is like the big thing about what team he's going to go to next, and he is undecided at this time, but he's going to reveal that to her, so they start spending a lot of time together. So I enjoyed it. I rated it 4 stars.
Okay. All right. Well,
really fast 1-minute rec there.
All good. So I don't know if this is out on Audible yet, but it is on the author's website because she didn't know what day, because like how we've talked, Audible is a little bit of a pain in the butt when you are an indie author, as far as like you don't get an actual date. You just know it's going to go up at some point in time whenever Amazon feels the need to release it. So I was so excited because I knew that this was coming. 8 Seconds to Fly by Grace McGinty came out on audio, and I had to listen to it. This is one of my, you guys know I love Grace, and this is one of my favorite out of all of my Graces, which I could almost say that about all of them. But this is, the audio is done by Avery Curvis, James Cassidy, Ryan Lee Dunlap, and Oscar Reyes, and they do an amazing job. So this is about our heroine, who is Tessa May, and Tessa May grew up on a farm where her dad and his business partner raised bulls for the rodeo, and all she wants to be is the first female bull rider. She just wants to be a bull rider and accepted into this boys club. She just doesn't care as long as she gets to do this. And so something pretty traumatic happens in the beginning that changes the trajectory of her life, but now she is out there, she's on the rodeo circuit, she's recovered from this incident, and she is out trying to ride bulls, and she's doing it kind of in disguise, but people are starting to learn that she is a woman, and that is where she runs into her old friends from back home, and one of these boys is the son to the business partner, and that is Bo and Branch. She also has a one-night stand with a bull rider that come to find out he is a part of this little crew with Bo and Branch, and that is Dylan. And then Frankie is her best friend, who is a bullfighter, who has given up his job to go with her on the circuit and ride bulls. I love this. The audio was so amazing. They did a phenomenal job. I actually then ended up sending Grace a couple messages this week, voice messages to her, because as I was listening to it, I was developing a Southern accent. So they just did that good. So I was like, oh, it's worn off on me. Loved it though. I love this book so much. It is just so good. Got that bull riding thing going for you, but she's a tough little cookie, and you just root for her the whole time. So,
okay.
All
right. So next, I went to the next book in the Cottonwood Cove series, which is number 4, and that's Before the Sunset, also again by Laura Pavlov. So this is Finn's book, and in the other book, we hear about Finn hooking up with, Finn's an actor, and we hear him hooking up with this other woman, and we hear about it. And apparently there was a situation where it was just the tip, and they give him like all the crap, like, do you want a tip of the day, Finn? Like that sort of stuff. And so I was really, really excited to read his book, and I listened to it. But it actually fell really flat for me. And I don't know if I just expected like there to be a lot more about the backstory between him and this other woman and the jokes and stuff, or what, but like really all that stuff was really in the other books. So in this one, he meets Reese, and him and Reese are friends, and from high school. And Reese has gone on, she's I think she was married, or it was her fiance. I think it was her fiance. And he ends up kind of breaking up with her, but cheating on her. Like she thinks that they're going to work things out, but he starts seeing someone else. And so she's pretty devastated about that. So she comes back, and her and Finn are friends. I was bored. I'm sorry. I was bored. I rated it 3 stars. We'll just move on from that. Maybe other people enjoyed it. I got bored. I'm sorry.
Well, let's move on from you being bored to my DNF.
Oh, yeah. What a great segue.
Yes, let's do that. Okay, so there is a shocking lack of mermaid books out there. I just feel like we all need to be aware of this, where the male is the mermaid, okay? Because I have questions on how things work, all right? So anyhow.
You're really shocked that more people haven't tried this to write this?
Yes.
Okay.
I am. So Facebook got me with a Facebook ad, and it was these men of Atlantia. They're mermaids. The heroines are human, and I was like, "Ooh, this is gonna be good."
Wait a minute. Anytime I've told you anything about seeing a book on Facebook and reading it, you're like, "Why? Why? You should never do that."
Well, maybe I should listen to my own advice. So I picked up. Let me just. I'm switching over because you're gonna start laughing. I picked up "Seduced by the Sea Lord" by Starla Knight. And let me just tell you, I didn't make it very far. I mean, I made it far enough that I felt like I could rate it, but oh, this was a challenge. So I didn't even write down the names of the characters. Okay. So our heroine is diving in Cosmo, like off the coast of Mexico, looking for, it was an opal or something that she'd found in the sea years ago that her ex-husband had stolen from her and sold and made a lot of money. And so she's now diving. She just knows something's there when she sees a dead body, or what she assumes to be a dead body. And she ends up hauling the dead body onto her boat that she has. And she notices that his skin's a little gray, but he's been in the water. Oh, but he's still alive and breathing. So she hauls this big old man down, which I don't know how she does it, into her hull, into a room, and she puts him in there. When he wakes up, he immediately just wants to boink her. But this is the part that really got me. Like, he was like, oh, this girl has like pink algae growing on her fingernails and toenails. Oh, I remember. That's what the humans call nail polish in all of my research. Like, stupid shit like that. He remembers how to talk because he studied, just in the off chance that he would need to use his vocal cords, and he could do it when he converses with a human. I'm sorry. This was horrible. Horrible. Don't even try. I was like, oh my gosh. Like, I wanted a sexy merman and I didn't get it, okay? And I'm very upset about that. All I got was, oh yes, I remember. Nail polish. The fuck is that? No. Move along.
Don't hold back.
I'm so annoyed by it. I'm so annoyed. So if you guys know of any really good mermaid ones, let me know. But I mean, like, I know Kay Webster has one, Mad Love or Mad something. That was great. But no. Nope. Okay.
All right. So next, I read Garnet Flats.
Yay!
By Devaney Perry. So in this one, we have Talia and Foster. Talia loved Foster, but he broke up with her and married her best friend a week later. I really kind of struggled to get into this once we learn all of that, because Foster's back. He's trying to win Talia back. It's been many years, and she has not talked to him or her former best friend since then. And so I really kind of struggled with, like, why would he marry her best friend and her best friend just like, why did everybody just completely stop talking to each other? Like, what went down? Like, this had better be really, 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 really believable and convincing, or I'm gonna be irritated. So he comes back. He's now divorced, but he's still friends with the woman he was married to. And we learn a little bit more about that. He's an MMA fighter, so he buys a gem in the small Montana town that she lives in to try and win her back. And so I will tell you, I rated it 4 stars, so it must have been a fairly decent reason. I was convinced. Something, because I just finished a Devaney Perry book today that it won't be on this one, it'll be on next. But something I've kind of started to notice about her is I'm like 50% of the book. But then once we hit the 50% mark, like, something changes and I'm all in. It's
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Devaney is one of those palette cleansers for me that I'm always all in. I don't know what it is about her writing. I just like it.
They've just always been 4 stars for me.
Oh, I have some that were 5 stars.
I don't know that I've gotten to a 5-star with her yet.
Yeah. I like her.
Okay. I like her. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying it, like, I just,
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay. Well, the next book I have was a new audio release that came out this past week, and that is A Ring of Truth by Deborah Garland, and I really, really liked this one. So this one is about Anna and Darrow. Darrow is his name. It's Irish Mafia. So Darrow and his twin brother were a part of the Mafia. They left the Mafia. They are now in Seattle as doctors. Him and his identical twin are doctors. The identical twin kind of gets into some trouble and he goes to Vegas. He's kind of getting into drugs and stuff. And that's where Anna is. She's in the mafia. She's being told, I think she's brought that. She's being told that she is going to have to marry this person. She doesn't want to marry this person. And so she actually runs away and leaves the mafia. And she ends up in Las Vegas, where she runs into Darrow's brother. And he ends up taking her in because somebody steals all her money. And then we see it fast forward a year or two later, and she has been on drugs and stuff. She's finally gotten herself clean, but that's because he got her knocked up. So she's pregnant. She's 8 months pregnant when she's fleeing from him because he's been keeping her kind of as a prisoner in their hotel room. And she flees from him and is in an accident, and then they get arrested. Well, the brother, Darrow, finds out about this, and he goes down to Vegas to get his brother out of jail and try to figure out what is going on. He is a single father. He has a little girl with the mom not in the picture, and he has a nanny who's constantly hitting on him. And so he flies down there to see what's going on when he sees Anna in the courtroom and realizes who she is from when they were a part of the mafia back in the day. And he knows that if her father finds out, it will be a war between these two families. So he leaves his brother in prison and brings home the pregnant Anna, who eventually kind of starts helping him as his nanny. I loved this book. I gave it 5 stars. They're twin brothers, so there was a lot of that is my baby genetically in your body kind of a situation. So, and as the granddaughter of an identical twin, I get it. I do. Because there was a lot of confusion at our house. That's because the identical twins married brothers. So there was a lot of the family tree isn't a tree, it's a bush.
That's something to brag about.
I'm not bragging, just saying. It was very confusing as kids. So, yeah. Okay. So I gave it 5 stars. I liked it.
That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
So last week I was falling down like a rabbit hole of trying to find a really good cheating romance. And so I continued with that. And I read The Way Back by Grace Mitchell. And I feel like the title is a little confusing because the way back would make you think that the two characters are finding their way back. But really, I think this is about Elena and she's finding her way back to herself. So Elena finds out her husband has been cheating on her. She is a vet at a clinic. She has spent a ton of money trying to keep this business afloat with her boss. They're supposed to be kind of like working on a partnership type thing. And then she finds out her boss has been sleeping with her husband. So they were sleeping together, cheating on her. And so she decides to move back home where she works as a vet back home, and things go from there basically. I rated it 3 stars. The writing was good. I enjoyed it, but I got annoyed that this wasn't the way back. It was it I don't think it's a cheating, like I don't feel like it's a cheating romance if she moves on from him.
Yeah.
Like that just seems like a backstory.
Yeah. I agree.
So I will say though that she's a vet and she does talk about dealing with some goat issues in there with like hoof rot and stuff. And it was very accurate. So I did really appreciate that the representation of being a vet and working with goats was accurate.
Okay, cool. Cool. Okay. Well, one of the series that I want to finish.
Mr. Goose is at the window. He would like you to go let him in.
I can't. It's going to be a long walk. Okay, so one of the series that I want to finish is the After the Plague series by Imogen Keeper. So I've been doing a reread of these books. And I realize they're not done. So I don't even know why I'm doing a reread right now, but we are. So I picked up book 3 in the series, which is Found. And again, this is post-apocalyptic. This is where in this book, like our heroine and hero are finally together. They're finally living under the same roof with the little boy that she found and she's taking care of. But now they're trying to get out of the city. So there was an illness that kind of killed off most of the population. She lost her husband. He's looking for his drug-addled brother. And they end up running into each other. She actually takes on this little boy whose family is all gone, who all died because of the plague. And now there is a woman in the White House who is trying to I don't know what she's doing, but she's not doing good stuff. And so they are trying to get out of the city in this book to get out to the country, to find other people who have survived so that they can live peacefully and not have to worry about this woman, this White House woman. And there's some things that happen at the end of the book before this that, you know, where Frankie, our heroine, is recovering. She was attacked, and York, our hero, is dealing with the repercussions of that as well. And so that's basically all that happens in this book, is they're just trying to get out of the city. So that's where I am with it. I need to get, they do get out of the city. There's more that happens, but that's pretty much it. So I have one more that is a reread, and then I'll be in like open territory where I haven't read it.
Open territory. Okay.
That's what we're gonna call that. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I got the audio, and so I believe the audiobook is not out yet, but the book itself is out, and they're just waiting on audio. But it may, by the time this is out, may have dropped. And that is the last book in the Toronto's Terror series by Helena Hunting, and that is If You Keep Me. So this is narrated by C.J. Bloom and Lee Samuels. Tally is 21 and Flip is 30, so it is an age gap. She is also the coach's daughter, so that makes it a little more interesting. So Tally has had a crush on Flip and for several years, and she asks him to take her V card. He is a reformed playboy, and he is still a little broken. And so he actually turns her down. And Tally's parents are going through a divorce. And so even though she's 21, that still is very impactful to her. And I can say as a child who, well, as I was 18 when my parents divorced, it is impactful when you're an adult and your parents divorce, even if you've already moved out. So I appreciated how there was that storyline and Tally was trying to work through all of those feelings. And her and Flip continue to spend time together, and it goes from there. I really enjoyed it. I rated it 4 stars.
Okay. All right. Well, the next book,
really cold.
We'll get a sweater. So the next book that I listened to, this the next one I listened to, was audio that also came out this week, and I've been waiting for it. It was on my TBR, and that is Married with Malice by Cora Brent. So this was a new to me author. This is a mafia romance. This is about Annalisa and Luca. Annalisa has an older sister. There's some humor to this one because Annalisa's older sister ran off. She was supposed to marry Luca. Like they were going to have this arranged marriage that was set up by their fathers. Annalisa ran off and married the meat man, is what we're calling him. She called him something else in there, but it's this guy who was a Major League Baseball player, and now he has like a fleet of meat trucks, like burger trucks, like food trucks. And so they call him the meat man. And he's kind of dumb as a box of rocks. So like it's pretty hilarious because her sister is like really in love with this guy. So she did that. And so because of that, now Annalisa has to marry Luca. So her and Luca have known each other since they were kids. He took her to her prom and then ended up sleeping with 2 other girls. Like they've had this hate to love. It's a hateful situation since they were little, but now they're having to get married for the sake of the family to prevent a war. And so there is quite a bit of really good banter in this book. There's quite a bit of them not getting along very well. They even get snowed in together, but they do get married, and crap starts to happen. So but the other thing too with Luca, he doesn't necessarily want to be a mafia guy. He doesn't like the killing. He's an enforcer. He doesn't like all the things that go along with it because he and his brother were raised by their uncle who's in the mafia, but their parents were not in the mafia. The uncle raised them as their own. So he is dealing with some of that as well. And he starts to change, and Anna knows what's going on. Like she can tell that he's changing and stuff. So I did enjoy it. I gave it 4 stars. You had that yawn, aren't you?
Yeah, sorry.
Yep.
Okay. So I continued down my cheating rabbit hole. Mm-hmm. And I saw that there was this book by Mandy Beck that was about cheating. And I was like, ooh, and it was a rock star. And I was like, oh, this sounds really good. So I went and got it on KU and I started reading it. And I went to mark that in Goodreads that I was reading it and realized I'd already read it. But I was like, but I'm so confused. Like the book I'm reading, because, I know what it was. It just was a cheating book by her and it sounded good, but I didn't know at the time it was Rockstar. That's what it was. So I started reading it, and then I went to market, and I'm like, wait, I've already read this book. And I'm like, but this is talking about being a Rockstar book. The book I'm reading isn't Rockstar. And I was very confused. Well, what happened is because I'd already read the Mandy Beck book, when I got it from KU, and I downloaded it onto my Kindle, it started right where I had ended.
Yeah.
And it was starting the first couple chapters of a different book, like a preview. And that's what I've been reading. So once I figured all of that out, then I went and got the whole book and started it. So that was Love Hurts by Mandy Beck. So this was not a cheating book, but I was already invested at this point. So it's about Frankie and Deacon. So Frankie and Deacon have been best friends since they were younger. And then Deacon is an MMA fighter, and he just really likes to play the field and sleep around and not have relationships, but he's very invested in his friendship with Frankie and believes that when he's ready, Frankie will just be super eager to welcome him into her life as his boyfriend. But Frankie is not following along with this plan and has actually been dating another guy that none of their friend group likes, and he proposes, and Frankie says yes. So this is when Deacon panics and tries to get her to like dump him and be with him, but then they end up not speaking for several months, and she calls on him when she really, really needs him. And I'll just leave it at that because it's got like a whole nother element to the whole story. I ended up rating it 3 stars. I liked it, but I just really struggled with like the whole, like him just, he never really, I didn't really feel like there was much change for him. Like, yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
He just kind of always thought she would be around. But there was no like, oh, I need to like, what was I thinking? Like like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right. Well, let's move on then.
Please. I am so cold.
Go get a sweater. So I picked up a book that you read last week this week because, oh my gosh, it was May Alder and I had to, and I knew it was out now. So this is Accidentally Married to the Prisoner by May Alder. You guys know that I love her Big Boys of Berenson Trucking series. And so I read a May Alder last week that I really enjoyed. So I jumped into this one. So this one is about Maribeth and Conrad. It's not very long. It's around 200 pages. But this is about Maribeth, who is going to the prison. Her mom works at the prison. I think she was a nurse, if I remember right, but she works at the prison. And apparently there's going to be this dance, and it's to boost morale. By the way, May Alder does say at the beginning of this book that is, let's all suspend belief, okay? This is not how things work, but for the sake of the story, we're going to pretend that it is. So she goes there because there's supposed to be this dance for good inmates to boost their morale. But when she gets there, things are not as like what her mother told her they would be. Her mom is away on a vacation. She can't get a hold of her. There's some people wearing white. There's some people really nervous. Someone backs out. There's things going on. Turns out she's not there for a dance. She's there for a husband. She signs off on the paperwork, not realizing what she's signing. And lo and behold, they present her with her new husband, who is Conrad. And so this is a program where she has to be married to the prisoner, to the con for 3 years. And it's like almost like a rehabilitation kind of thing. And so that is what happens. She has to bring home her prisoner. The best part about this book was the cat. Let me just say, it was the cat.
Oh yes,
I loved that. I love May Alder. She can do breeding like no other. Her and BJ are right up there with the breeding. We get that in here. There's birth control tampering. So good. So good. I gave it 4 stars. I loved it.
I thought it was really fun.
It was fun. It was a fun read. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So we have like 12 days from when we're recording this video until we're going to Dallas. And so I have got to pick up the pace on finishing Ice Planet Barbarians if I want to read the whole series, which is my goal before we go to Dallas, where we will meet Ruby Dixon. So,
and you mean you've said it before, just the Ice Planet Barbarians, not the spinoff. You're just trying to finish that first series.
Yes.
Which has how many books in it? 20-some?
I think they're like, if you count all the novellas, it's like 27.
I think 27. 27 sounds about right.
Yeah.
Quite the undertaking.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm on book 10, Barbarian's Hope. So, I didn't get my hand on the position correctly to start the timer. Sorry. So in this one, we have Asha and how do you say his name?
Himalo.
Himalo? Himalo? Okay. So we have Asha and Himalo. And we see Asha in the other one where she's not the very best roommate. She just kind of stays in her furs and is depressed. Let's just be honest. Asha's depressed. And this is actually a miscommunication trope that I can truly get behind because they're dealing with grief. Like their baby died and she is heartbroken. He is heartbroken and they're both aliens, by the way. And they just can't get on the same page because Asha pushes him away and he then is like, I need to leave her. So he leaves her. And then she's like, he doesn't even care to stay. And then he's like, she doesn't even care to want me to be around her anymore. I just have to keep giving my mate space. And so it's actually truly a very heartbreaking miscommunication trope that makes sense of why they're having this. I actually went and bought the book because I loved it so much. I cried during it. But there's also still some funny parts where they're talking about No Poison Day, which we would kind of know as Christmas, but it's like more of an all-encompassing holiday for them. And somebody references it as Awful Day and like getting in the Awful Day spirit, which I thought was hilarious. So I love this. I rated it 5 stars and do not ask me any follow-up questions on how much the original copy cost me.
I won't. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Did you read the novella that told you where No Poison Day came from? Like how they came about with the name No Poison Day? Yeah, I think you did. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I would also like to point out that Mandy said to me, I'll just have 1 or 2 books for Ruby to sign, that I can hold all of yours. Now I get the phone call that tells me that Mandy has more than the signing limit for Ruby, and I'm on my own. I'd like to also point out every time Mandy laughed at me for reading these books and loving them, okay? I love it. Next, I'm going to get you reading Zoe Draven's Aliens. Okay. Ready for my last book?
Did you see somebody commented about there is a Dino Shifter book? No. I left that comment for you. You need to go read it.
I'll go look.
Yeah. Next week on Bestie Book Reviews.
Let's hope it's not as weird as the Sasquatch one I read before. That was a weird one. Bigfoot was a Bigfoot one. Whew, that was weird. That was weird. Okay. Anyhow, the next book that I read, or the last book that I read for this week, is Lost Song by Claire Kent. It came out this week. It is going to be our buddy read. On whose channel? Amber's. On what day?
Next Sunday, the March 15th.
Thank you. Okay. So I read this one for that. Just came out this week. It is a start to her new series. It's called The Wild, but the hero from this one, we actually see in the one of her latest releases, which was, I can't remember, Protect, which I love. Protect. I wrote it down funny. Okay, so he was in Protect, and that's where we first meet him. So that is Micah, and then you have Kat, who is our heroine. So Kat was married for almost a full year, right around the time that the asteroid hit the Earth, and this is 3 years after impact, and her husband didn't even make it a full year before he left her to go join the militia. And so now she is living in an RV, or in a camper in the woods all by herself, and she goes to town one day to do some trading and some scavenging, and then when she comes back, she finds a man leaned up against her trailer, and that is Micah. He's been shot in the side, and so she takes him in and starts taking care of him. She's really guarded. She's been hurt, and she doesn't trust men. So there you go. And he's supposed to leave the next day, but then she pushes it to the next day.
Thank you, Kettle Corn. That was a great review.
I'm glad you listened to it. I'm not going to tell you what I rated it because it's for book club, or for buddy reads. So you'll have to watch that.
Okay.
Okay. My week's out. It's all you.
Yay.
Yay.
Okay. So speaking of Claire Kent, I went and read Last Light by Claire Kent.
Mm-hmm.
I have not really read much in her world, so I wanted to kind of read a little bit in her world before I read the Buddy Read book, but I'm very excited for that one. So in Last Light, we have Lane and Travis. So Lane is making her way to Fort Knox. Um, Impact has happened, and basically most civilizations are completely destroyed at this point, or they've fallen apart. And so she is trying to make her way to Fort Knox, where there's supposed to be some people working on like rebuilding civilization, and then there being a little bit of safety there as well. So she's making her way there after her grandma has died, and she's basically all alone in the world now. And she knows some people from her town have gone there, so she decides this is the best idea for her. So she runs into Travis. Travis is also from her town, but she is really weary of being around anybody. And so she's just like, okay, let's go our separate ways. But later there's an incident and Travis ends up coming upon her again because they're headed in the same direction. He's also headed to Fort Knox. The two of them end up teaming up to take a message to Fort Knox, basically saying that there is a drove coming that is like not a good drove. Like droves are not good. They're like mean, angry people that are going to hurt people that are moving that way, and to try and warn them before this happens. And so they start that quest. So I loved it. It's definitely a slow burn. It's an age gap, which does play into the story, but it was really good. I rated it 5 stars.
Okay.
I don't think that a post-apocalyptic that wasn't a little bit of a slow burn would actually make sense.
Because no.
The focus has to be on survival.
Yes. And I was just, because I was doing a re-listen yesterday to the Third Storm trilogy, so that'll be on next week's 1 Minute Book Rex. And they fall for each other very fast. But I think in the apocalypse, that would happen. You don't have time to wait around. You just depend on those people pretty quickly, and you fall pretty quickly, I would think. So, yeah. Okay.
But in a slow burn fashion.
Okay. I don't know what a slow burn fashion is.
Well, I said I felt like most apocalyptic is a slow burn, and you agreed. And then
no, I thought you said they weren't slow burns. A lot of the ones I've read are not slow burns because they're in the apocalypse.
Well, I guess okay. So this one I felt like was slow burn.
That one was definitely slow burn.
The Imogen Keeper, slow burn.
That one's for sure slow burn.
K. Webster's, slow burn. Lindsay Pogue, slow burn.
Yeah, that's what's hard. Mm-hmm.
So those are the only ones I've really read that I can think of. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They might fall fast, but I feel like if you're writing post-apocalyptic, you have, well, even in Third Storm, there's some build-up before we get to them falling for each other.
They start banging pretty quick.
Yeah, but they've also reached a different level of safety a lot faster than any other post-apocalyptic book. So I think that's the difference. They reach, well, it's a false sense of safety, but they reach a sense of safety fairly quickly. And they also are forced to pretend that they're together already.
Yes.
So that, I think, changes a lot of the dynamics. But anyway. Okay. Yep. Okay. So next, I read Barbarian's Choice.
Okay.
By Ruby Dixon. And I actually just really like this cover. And isn't that hilarious? Because it's got an alien with her tail on the front. So this, we have Farley and Mardox.
Yep.
Okay. So Farley is a female alien, and she has not resonated with anyone. And this is book number 11. If you've read much in the Ice Planet Barbarians, you know that they don't have very many females. But in this one, she has, for whatever reason, not resonated with anyone. And she's actually totally okay with that. She's very independent, doing her own thing. And she's out doing her own thing one day when she sees a ship crash. She is very curious because she knows about the other women that were on a ship that crashed there. Or I guess it doesn't crash, it lands. So she goes to investigate and see what's going on. And this is where Marduk comes off the ship, and she is instantly like very attracted to him. And it does not take long for them to resonate. But the problem being is that Marduk is from a very different alien lifestyle. And he hates the ice planet with a passion and wants to get out of there as soon as possible, but he feels like they have a duty to like figure out what exactly is going on here with these aliens because nobody should be living on this planet and there's just a lot going on. But he wants off. Her whole family is there. And once if you leave, there's really not a lot of coming back because nobody should even be here. So I really enjoyed this one too. I rated it 4 stars.
Okay. All right. Next.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So next I got the ALC for Sinful Hearts by Charity Farrell. This book is already out, but the audio is coming out on March 10th and it's done by Avery Reed and Walker Williams. This is book number 3 in Lucky King series. So this is my first read of Charity Farrell's. So this is about Lilia's sister is in arranged marriage to Emilio. She decides that is not for her, so she flees. Their brother is the one in charge, and so their brother tells Lilia that you shall be marrying him, Emilio, and he tells her this like when they're supposed to be walking down the aisle. So she walks down the aisle and marries him. She is terrified of him because he is a ruthless mafia man, and he like this has kind of kept her captive because she decides she's going to try and get out of there, and he holds her prisoner at his home and refuses to let her leave. And then her brother tells her, guess what, you need to take him out, we're counting on you to kill him. And I just shut my book and I think I still had one more.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So before I tell you about my next book, Jessica, I do not have siblings. So but I think I know how I would feel about this. So if you're in this situation, his wife, and this is what I'm going to talk about, his wife cheats on him with his sister's husband. The parents, there's a big family fallout from this, and the parents end up supporting the daughter. The daughter decides to stay with her husband, who just broke up this other marriage, right? And should have really broken up his own marriage, but she decides to stay with him, which we've read books like that. And he tells his parents, well, I'm not coming like to eat dinner at your house if he's going to be there. And the parents get really upset with him for not supporting his sister.
What? What kind of parents are those? So that's like if my husband slept with my brother's wife.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would be expected to go to Thanksgiving with my brother's wife still there because they decided to work their stuff out.
Mm-hmm. You and your husband separate, divorce, and then you'd bring your kids.
No.
Okay.
Hell no.
That's how I feel too. But how about this? Your son's wife cheats on him with your daughter's husband. Your daughter stays with him and wants to bring their kids to Christmas. And it's like, well, the daughter's coming and he's coming, but the kids are coming. You would be like, no, he's not welcome in my home.
Yes, he's not welcome. I think it would be hard. I'd be like, you and the grandkids are welcome, but he's not here. He's not allowed here.
And then she'd be like, well, then I guess we're not coming. And
well,
then you
then I guess
chose a side and severed that relationship.
That would put parents between a rock and a hard place, obviously.
Yeah.
And so what do you do?
I know. That's how I was kind of thinking about this, but his parents double down. Like big time.
Oh.
And his mom
just have two different Christmases. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to be put in that situation. I gotta go talk with my kids.
Please let your spouses know if they plan to cheat, not to do it with anybody in the family.
Thank you. Yeah. Don't make sharing holidays any harder as it is, okay?
Okay, so my next book is Only for Him by Natasha Madison. And as you just heard, Knox comes home and finds his wife cheating on him. Him and his wife have 3 kids, by the way. He comes home, finds her cheating on him with his sister's husband. And all hell kind of breaks loose. It really blows up families, and he is just like, I'm done, and he leaves and refuses to come back to the house. Like, he divorces her, and that is that. So he has custody of like every other week they share custody, and so every other week he has his kids, and he's just like trying to move on and do the best that he can by his kids. And one day he's at a bar with a bunch of us. He plays pro hockey, if I forgot to mention that, or if you didn't know. He's at a bar. He sees this woman there, and she tries to say hi to him. And he tells her, I don't want anybody to suck, da da da. And she's like, whoa. Turns out that's his teammate's sister that he just said that to. She was not interested in doing that for him. She was simply trying to say hi and introduce herself. Okay.
Got it.
So from there, the two of them have some more awkward encounters where he's not very nice to her. And it ends up leading to some very hot sexual tension between the two of them. And we kind of go from there. She has sworn off dating and love, and he obviously is not interested in going down that path again right now. I really, really enjoyed it. I rated it. Oh, yeah, I rated it 5 stars. I don't know why I needed to open my book journal.
You just wanted to double check, I guess.
I guess so. Oh, it's narrated by Gregory Salinas and Rose Dioro. And it comes out this week.
Rose
Dario. Maybe that's it. On Friday the 13th.
Oh, okay. That's an interesting day. Have your book come out. Okay.
That is my wrap up.
All right. Perfect.
Okay. Okay. I have our names.
Okay.
Are you ready for me to draw, Jessica?
I'm eagerly awaiting your drawing.
Okay, hold on. I've forgotten. Dang it.
Are they stuck together?
They are sticking together. I don't want to look, but I can't. Okay, I got one. Ready?
Okay, ready.
Emily. Congratulations, Emily. I will send off your information to Serena, and you will get the Shamrock Kisses book with the PR things, and that will get sent to you soon.
Yeah.
And if you were not one of our lucky winners, we hope you'll still go check out Serena Peer over on Instagram and grab her book Shamrock Kisses, this is like the perfect time to read it.
Yes. Perfect.
So thank you, Serena, for teaming up with us for that.
Yes, for sure. Yeah.
And then, before we talk about our next giveaway, we have book club coming up. Book club, that was a little wild, the voting. It was very close. And then after we ended up announcing it, because I kind of cut it quick because I felt bad that we had done like multiple polls trying to figure out book club. Some people actually continued to vote on it. YouTube will not let me delete a poll close a poll or edit it. So I have to just comment in the comments, or I can just delete it. And I felt like that wasn't right to just delete it away. Yeah. So I put in the comments it was closed, but people continued to vote. So anyway, our book will be Whispers and Wildfires by Claire Kingsley. This is mature heroine over 30. And as always with book club, it does have audio. Book club is March 27th at 6 p.m. Pacific right here on our channel. We would love to have you join us live for that. Okay. All right. So we have our next giveaway to announce, and that is the PR box for Come What May by Corinne Michaels. So let us show you everything that's going to be in here. This is going to be open for a couple weeks. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button to be entered to win. You do need to claim your prize by emailing us, though, if you are the lucky winner within 2 weeks. All of the information that kind of outlines all of that is down below in the description. This will close the same day as book club, which is March 27th. So that'll be the last day to enter. So for the PR box, you're going to get this cool canvas tote. And I'm not sure that you can even go order this anymore. So this is a very exciting one. I bought one, and then this one we teamed up with Corinne on to bring to you. So I love mine. And I think you guys are going to like it too. So, inside the box looks like this. So there's lots of different goodies. There's popcorn. popcorn. There's the tarot cards. There is a town map for everybody to see. There are some fun pencils and stickers in this pencil pouch. We have the Come What May book with the dust jacket, but then you also get the indie cover, and it is signed by Corinne. There is...
Is it a hardcover or paperback?
It's paperback. It's paperback. Okay. So then we have that there. So voila. Then there is a hat, and it also says Ember Falls on the back there. There is in here, because I have this already, as a little necklace. And then it comes with this case for, I think this works perfect for like a Kindle, like the Paperwhite size. So lots of fun goodies, and the book, which is very, very exciting.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So hit that subscribe button so you are automatically entered to win the Come What May PR box from Corinne Michaels right here on our channel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay.
This is a lot of pressure to try and wrap this back up with nothing going awry.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, how about you close out the video and then you can wrap it up.
Make sure to check back on Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays for new videos from us. And usually Wednesdays.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Usually. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video.
You're going to want to kind of tune in this Wednesday. We have a phenomenal interview.
Oh, yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.